not enough space. Hi, I'm Carty editor James. Today, I'm reviewing Genesis GV80, the first SUV made by Genesis. Let's take a look at the exterior first. Let's first take a look at the front grille, or we call this the crest grille. But the most impressive part of the front grille is that it's very, very big. Even though this is a luxury SUV produced by Genesis, but it still makes the car look very masculine and very powerful. Hyundai has made a really detailed plans in designing. Also, Genesis has made the quad lamp system in the front, which has LED lights, and this is almost exactly the same as G90, the luxury sedan produced by Genesis brand. So I think this type of headlamps or headlights will be seen in all Genesis lineups. Looks like this is going to be the identity or all the lineup characteristic of Genesis luxury brand cars. The character line on the side makes the GV80 more luxurious, classic, and very impressive. Now, followed by the character lines, let's take a look at the rims or the wheels. I think at the top of the model, the top model, it comes with a 22-inch 5-spoke alloy wheels. The rims or the wheel itself is really big, but the GV80 itself is a really big car or a big SUV itself, so it doesn't seem very big. But this is a 22-inch 5-spoke alloy wheel, and it is equipped with a Michelin 265/40 R22. Now let's go to the front. On the front fender, we have 2 side markers. This is originally where the air holes or the duct is located for better performance or for the heat release purposes. But Genesis G80 or all the Genesis lineups perhaps will have something similar to this. Adding 2 side markers perhaps makes the car look more luxurious, more visible. And I believe since it has all the LED lights on the side, it will be very noticeable or visible at nighttime. Now, let's look at the rear. Again, the tail lamp, it is not exactly, but it's almost the same as what we have seen in the front and on the side. It is also dual, and that it has LED lights. And I think this is becoming the Genesis identity for the family look. And also in the center, we have a big lettering, which is indicating this is a luxury brand, Genesis. Simply the push of a button, you can open the trunk. But I don't have my key right now, but as you can see, there's a little button, and I think this is very similar to kind of Porsche, and all these character lines, or I think people call it blister. It's very detailed, and all these gaps are very accurate. No, not too much difference. And the one thing that kind of surprised me was that I thought this was number 4, but actually this is letter A, which means this is AWD, all-wheel drive, and everything else. It has added some chromes and makes the car a little bit more luxurious. And exhaust tips, it's kind of hidden, so you can't really see it. But overall, it's very big. Makes the car look wider due to the character lines or the blisters on the side or on the front. There is also the rear view camera, which will be assisting you while you're parking. Personally, I don't know. Maybe at night it's going to be very visible, or maybe it look pretty, but I don't know. Personally, this is not really my type, but most of the people, I think they kind of like it. But in my personal taste, the rear tail lamp, I don't know. It's not really my taste. but we'll see how it looks at the nighttime. Now we are inside a GV80. One great thing about GV80 is that it is fully equipped with most advanced and high-tech features of everything you can think of. Now let's take a look at the cluster. First of all, it contains a lot of information and it is very big. So it is very visible and it is very recognizable. Every time you move back, front and back, the two sensors in the front, it recognizes you. So it makes the cluster more visible to the driver. It's a very driver-friendly feature. Let's take a look at the infotainment. Genesis provides very wide, 14.3-inch wide infotainment screen in the center. It contains, or it has a lot of information that drivers can use. Let me show you some of the features that I think is pretty cool. For example, let's go to passenger talk. Simply a click of screen, you can talk to the person sitting in the back. You know, people usually like talk really loud or we have to scream because we're facing forward and then our voice to deliver to the back, we usually have to get our voice louder or speak up or sometimes even scream. However, using the passenger talk mode, even right now, I can hear my voice from the speaker in the back. So you can simply, just quietly talk and then people in the back can listen to my voice through the speakers in the back. Oh, also the seat function. All right, let's go to the second row seat control. How you want to adjust your seat position, and then simply you can just press down the button. Then, as you can see, the seat will move forward. Now let's send it backward. Yeah, how cool is that? Also, what makes this car so luxurious is that everything that you see inside is covered with leather. Even the seat right here, this is a Napa leather with a quilt pattern, which is very comfortable, and you can see and you can feel that this is like really luxury. As you can see, you can use your air conditioner or heater. Think about those buttons on the bottom. Even though this is like touch buttons, but it gives you feedback. So if you're pressing the button, for example, let's use the fan button right here, it gives you feedback. It gives you small, gentle vibration. Genesis GV80, it comes with a dial-typed electric gear system. So it's not pushing or shifting the lever down. Hit the brake and then simply, twist it to the right to put it on a drive mode. And then if you want to go to the rear or if you want to park, you can simply shift to the left quickly like that. So it shifts the gear, and when you want to park, you can simply just press the button, then it parks. You can also use this like a touchpad, and as you can see on the screen, you can actually write the letters here. So for example, let's write IKEA. I-K-E-A. Just a push-up button, you can switch it to drive mode, terrain mode, followed by comfort mode, sports mode, sand mode, snow mode, all types of different mode. You can change the mode, eco mode, comfort mode, sports mode, which is my favorite. On a terrain mode, if you turn the dial to the right, it gives you another mode right here, terrain mode, like mud mode, snow mode, what else? Sand mode. And as you can see, every time you change your mode, your cluster also changes. Now let's press this button right here. It gives you the camera mode, and let's go to here. This is basically your car. You can just swipe it, and then it tells you like what's around your car. How amazing is that? This is another great function that Genesis G80 is providing. GV80 is being very considered. What I mean by is that simply you can just put your hand on the buttons on the side, the sensor detects your hand and it shows you where your finger is. So for example, right here, it tells you where my finger is. I'm not really pulling or pressing any buttons. Simply, I'm just putting my fingers on each button. And the sensor detects it and then it shows you where your finger is. The button on the top right here, this is like a massage function. Yeah, pelvic stretching, lumbar stretching, the whole body stretching. So let's try that. Oh, this is really nice. Now I'm in the back seat. One thing I need to tell you about the back seat is that, most of the cars, especially the luxury ones, they all have switches which allows you to move forward, move backward. You can tilt a little bit. But what other car doesn't have is that it rises your seat position. This is something that other cars don't really have. So yeah, even for you sitting down in the back seat, you can adjust your comfortness. So being able to raise up your seat position, it gives you extra choices to your comfortness. Let's take a look at the window. There is a button, the button, what it does is it just opens and it closes. But there is the secret, the function to it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there is a curtain. So while the window is closed, if you just pull the button one more time, the curtain goes up. Also, the top and on the side, this is all Alcantara. So it's very soft, it makes the car feel really luxurious. This car is equipped with a panoramic sunroof, which allows you to look at the sun or look up in the sky in a wide view. Also, it has mirror, which maybe you can check your face, make sure that nothing's on your face or nothing's in your teeth. So yeah, another consideration that Genesis GV80 has provided. This Alcantara is really nice. The overall feeling of the back seat is comfortable. I'm not feeling any uncomfortableness sitting in the back seat. Like I told you earlier, I think I can probably stay here even though you have to drive a long distance. I don't feel I feel great. I feel very comfortable. Okay, right now I am driving Genesis GV80 3.0 diesel model. So I'm going to briefly talk about how the driving feels like. I think Genesis did such a great job that even though I'm driving a diesel engine right now, it doesn't feel like I'm driving diesel engine. The reason is that this is really quiet right now and I can barely hear like what's happening outside. I think Genesis has used this technology called active noise cancelling system. I'm driving on an eco mode right now and there are a few speeding cameras, so I'm not going to speed, but in a little while I'm going to switch the mode and see how it responds. Brake feels almost the same as driving German cars. Like, I personally have 3 Series and as the German cars, they have a really good braking system. My friend has an E-Class and I have a test drove with like a couple other German cars, but the brake was part of the reason I had to purchase German motors. But Genesis GV80, I think the braking system is almost feels the same as BMW or Mercedes. So the braking, I think, is pretty good. Now I have just switched from eco mode to comfort mode. Yes, it definitely has a little more kick, but not by much. Let me try to accelerate a little bit. Okay, well, not bad. For the size of the car, the acceleration is great, I think. Definitely gives you a lot more power compared to the eco mode. I don't think it's really the power, but I think the ECU kind of limits its the RPM. But a comfort mode, it definitely makes you feel a lot easier to drive. Now let me switch to the sports mode. The difference between comfort mode and the sports mode, yes, it's roaring a lot more, but then the acceleration wise, I can't really tell the much difference. Well, it sure roars more, it makes a more noise, but I don't think it's any faster. Perhaps a little bit more, but then I don't think it's faster or it gives power or anything like that in a sense of driving. I am currently using the smart cruise control system. I don't really have to touch anything. So the car recognizes the lane, I think a center lane or the lanes on the side, and it's just driving it by itself. Wow. Okay, it is always safe to, put your hands on the steering wheel, but I am just doing it just to show you how the smart cruise control system works. But yes, all you have to do is just set up the speed, and then if you just let go of your hands, it will just follow the lane by itself. So, it's kind of scary to letting your hands off the steering wheel, but I just tested it just for a short while for like 10-20 seconds, but well, it does the job. Maybe it will be better off to use it on a highway, but I don't want to use the smart control system too much on the local road since there's a lot of more traffic. But I think it does the job, and then I think it's doing great. Let's just say you are trying to switch your lane to the right. The cluster shows what's behind you on the right hand side. And again, if you use the blinker to your left, the cluster on the left hand side, it shows what's behind you from the driver's seat. So I think this is very handy too. Now I have activated augmented reality. It shows you like what's ahead of the road, and that's exactly what I'm seeing on the navigation at the upfront screen. It's almost as real as what really is, and it's very clean, and the quality of the picture, the quality of the screen is so good that it feels like I am actually driving. Actually, I'm playing a Nintendo or something. Driving a SUV, I expect the GV80 to be more stiff or feel a little hard on the road because it's an SUV. But I don't know, maybe it's because this is a luxurious sport utility vehicle. It's not very hard, it's not very soft, it's just about the right. So I don't know how people would feel if you sit in the back. I mean, just sitting in the back seat or actually being in the back seat while somebody else is driving, it will feel a lot different. But as a driver, just driving on the local road, the suspension itself is pretty good. Not very hard, not very soft. It's just about right. So in the US, it will be released summer 2020. They will probably have only the gasoline models, because in the States, nobody really drives diesel. So they will have a 2.5 gasoline and 3.5 gasoline, the twin turbo models. And I think they will probably range anywhere between from $50,000 to $65,000 US. I guess it all depends on the options. But I think the first impression that people would feel if they get to drive Genesis GV80, I guarantee the first word they're going to say is, "Oh my God, this is off the hook." Today, I have driven the diesel model because they haven't released the gasoline model yet in Korea. But even though I am driving diesel engine right now, this is very quiet and this is very comfortable. And a lot of special high-tech features make sure driving very comfortable and very safe and somewhat fun. There are little stuff that I would Genesis to upgrade or fix up a little bit, but I think the car itself, it is right now, is really great, and I think it's worth the money. I got a chance to drive a Genesis GV80, the first luxury SUV made by Genesis. GV80 is very comfortable, very reliable, and very spacious. It is also equipped with high tech that it assists your driving very safely and it also makes your driving very fun. Genesis GV80 surely can compete against Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and other German luxury brands. Prices are reasonable, is very luxurious, and it is equipped with most advanced high-tech. Thanks for watching Genesis GV80 review. If you like the review, please hit the subscribe button and please support us. Hopefully I can come back with a better review next time. Thank you.